Hello, everybody. It's another day in the world of the life, and there's all kinds of things going on in the world. And one of the things that's exciting me right now is that everybody likes how to be addressed by real rudely. No one cares about formal introductions anymore. Generation Z is a rude generation. I don't know who decided that Generation Z was going to be the rudest of all rude, but who would do such a thing? I don't know anybody who would be rude with the Z. Well, anyways, the Generation Z is like the fuck off generation. Everybody's a professional. They have quick this, quick that, quick this, quick that. McDonald's fries in 1 second. Everything goes fast now. People are going millions of miles an hour. I have ADD. Everybody addresses it. Back in the 90s, if somebody told you you might have ADD, you bug out on them. I do not have ADD. I do not have ADD. Now you claim it. Claim it. It gets you a check every month. I got ADD, I got PTSD, I got OCD, and my name is ZIP. They're giving you an instant check every month. All you have to do is say those 4 or 5 things. Give yourself a 3 acronym type name thing, and then go down in there into Social Security and secure your little check. I don't do that though because I grind. But anyways, we're keeping this on the comedy tip. I'm right back in the media, and I looked over some of the media today, and I stumbled into a 2-hour Joe Biden conversation or whatever it may be. Whatever he was doing, it was epic. He stood for 2 hours talking. I had no idea he was capable of that. I don't think anybody on the left or right could acknowledgingly admit that before yesterday you thought Joe Biden could stand for more than 15 minutes even. He was up there for 2 hours. I don't know if they had things supporting him up. I don't know what type of behind the scenes imagery was happening, but he walked away from the podium to even show that he was just fine, was standing there for 2 hours after napping for the past 16 years. He gets up and stands there for 2 hours and gets pre-scripted, pre-recorded questions and answers, and he took a couple freestyle questions. He says, "Hey dude, you don't know what it's like, man," and did all that extra stuff, the stammering. He stuttered a lot. He was in his full stride. He was like Tyson on a prize fight night. We're not talking Buster Douglas. We're talking about one of those earlier Tyson fights when he's just knocking them in 3 rounds or less. Biden was a killer yesterday when it comes to fake media. He was up there clowning, having fun, giggling, laughing. I mean, he went all the way in. More than any of the Saturday Night Live characters, more than Josh Davidson or Josh Danielson or whatever his name is, David Danielson, Harley Davidson, whatever his name is from Saturday Night Live. He just did a Biden. Jim Carrey doing the paintings and then coming on over and crossing over and doing the great impression. That was excellent, Jim. And then he went back home and painted a nice picture of it. Great work, Jim. Jim deserves all kinds of credit because he came with 2 good movies in the 90s. Possibly a couple more that are negotiable, but the rest of it was acting greatness. Jim Carrey did a great job of being Andy Kaufman. He can be other people, guys. The media is amazing. I don't know, like, what inspires you to be, like, I'm American, so, like, I can't imagine this, but, like, I know about Jim Carrey, and he's from another country, Canada, and I would like to do a documentary bio on him and be him and be all goofy and do all the little sketches and stunts and the in living color and just be him. It would be oh so much fun. And I'm in there trying to learn the Canadian accent so I can talk like him. Oh, it was about 10 years ago. Eh? I don't know exactly how to get his accent exactly right, but I'll have to work on it, and I'll have to get the I could go back to the roots. Jim Carrey is just one of those guys that when you're looking at the AP reports and you really, really put it down, he is a media troll. Great job, Jim. I'm working on it over here. We're picking up a viewer here, a viewer there. Our viewership is taking a little while here because I'm having a really hard time selling out to the mainstream competitors of the big time beast branch brand things, whatever they are. They don't get excited about a number of the things that I bring up. Anyways, let's go back to the media. I'm going to actually let you know that we're here for your needs. If you want to email me, you know how to get a hold of me. Don't email me. We're moving into the future. Emails are things of the past. Unless you're a site owner of a company and you have a confirmation email for something that I just signed up to, I'm not going in that email. So don't email me. I don't need an email down there at the bottom of the screen. Nothing. What I want you to do when you're thinking about me is I want you to go on regular TV and go watch all your dumb bullshit shows. Because that's all this is. We're just part of the media. I have my own different lane. I'm trying to literally program you to understand that you don't know anything, but you might know everything. But you could win $1 million on Jeopardy, but you might not be the all-time grand champion. And at the same time, they already have 7 or 8 grand champions, and they're all battling it up. And now they've decided to divvy it out between male and female. So now there's no real grand champion because they're trying to say the grand female champion. I mean, whatever happened to being number one of everything? I think everything should be intramural. Like, seriously, everything should be intramural. Like, no matter what. People with sexual harassment problems, stick it up your ass. If you got sexual harassment issues, like me, you could just tone down a little bit, because this is intramural world now. Everybody's in the same bathroom together. Everybody's in the same restaurant together. People are eating and grabbing the same spoon and the that ice cream thing, the big cake. What is it? That thing that they got at the buffet. Everybody's there just taking their chocolate. Oh, let me get a cone. Here, let me just touch your hand while I'm just touching your hand, and then I'm just touching your hand, and oh, there's some cone. Oh, COVID. No, we're not talking about COVID. We're talking about eating. Oh, wait, those days are over. That was of the past. Back in the day, they used to have things called buffets, like almost every place that serves Chinese food loves to try to pull it off. You got like these steam table trays, and they throw rice in it, and it's like an 8-week supply, and you can just stick it out there at the floor, and people buy it for $8.95. You don't even have to cook rice all but once out of 30 days. I get it. You guys are geniuses. You throw it in the freezer in bags, and then you pull it back out and chuck it on there on the wok. You guys, you need to keep moving with that, because it's an absolute thing. It's a business. It's a beauty. It's all tasty with extra soy sauce. Anyways, we're in the world of fast food. We're in the world of fast facts. We're in the world of fast information. We're in the world of misinformation. And I wish they would come up with Mr. Information, because at the end of the day, there's too much misinformation and not enough Mr. Information. So what I'm letting you know is we're getting all of the misinformation figured out so we can actually become Mr. Information. Because for every piece of information, there's an adverse, deflecting piece of other information that lets you know that that information might not be any information of any kind. Like, anything you want to look at. It could be an acorn falling out of a tree, but there's 50,000 trees there. You don't know which tree it fell out of, but we're assuming it's the one that's right above it. We don't look into the aspect of the wind was blowing at a 30-mile-per-hour east direction, and all of a sudden, little wind kicks up, and there goes the acorn from a different tree to underneath a different tree. See, it's called physics, folks, and it's all over the place. There's absolutely no way you can pan out any of this media. You don't even know if Campbell's soup is even soup. You don't know. We don't know anything. You don't even know if your trash can's a trash can or if that's even garbage. You're throwing away all kinds of good stuff, folks. Why would you crumple up a piece of paper when you can burn it? That's automatic heat, folks. When you get into little things like you're throwing away this, you're throwing away that. People are throwing trash away left and right. You could be reconstructing that trash into some treasure, folks. What you're doing is you're not looking at the treasure, and you're turning it all into trash. This generation, Generation Z, needs to wake up. We need to wake up, world. This is a place where you could actually find an acorn underneath a tree from another tree in a different forest from a different area. You weren't thinking about the bird coming over with that acorn or whatever it may be, and it's just dropped. Or an alien. We don't think aliens exist, folks, but we're coming into that time where eventually we're going to have to believe it. We saw Alf, we saw Sasquatch with Harry and the Hendersons. We know what it could be like because they already showed us. With Elf, it was fun. You got to watch your cats, but other than that, it's a great time with Elf. And with Harry, I mean, he can actually save a member's life of your family. You know, you can't just be kicking around the idea of aliens and warfare and stuff. We got to look at aliens and peace. You know, one time this alien was like, should I tell this story? Okay. Anyways, one time this alien walked into a bar with an Indian, a pilgrim, a West Indies Indian, and a nun, and a midget, and Luchasaurus from AEW. So anyways, all 8 of these collective individuals, and we're just going to call it a collective, are sitting in the bar, and they're all ordering drinks. So when the bartender comes over to order their drinks, he starts with the midget. And he says, "Hey, little guy, what can I get you?" And the midget says, "Get me a Long Island iced tea." And so he says, "Would you like that on the double?" And he says, "What made you hesitate to think that I didn't want the same exact Long Island iced tea you would give this big monstrous individual right here?" And the bartender looks back at the midget and he says, "Alcohol poisoning." You see, folks, every situation has different scenarios. No matter which scenario you want to pick, it always has a different outcome. And everybody has different scenarios and specs. And these specs are all different specs that have different outcomes. So there is no real actual guidelines to this. And the joke is on you, Jack, if you thought you actually knew what that bartender was going to say. Because the bartender was correct. That midget, if inhaling the entire drink of Long Island iced tea that a regular Luchasaurus was going to drink, that midget was going to possibly die. Because you don't understand. They were at Big Amigos, the big bar down in Guatemala, and they give the biggest Long Island iced teas on the block, folks. I'm out of here.